Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I formally declare open this council meeting of the Colac Otway Shire on the 10th of February 2026. I'll start with the opening prayer. Almighty God, we seek your blessing and guidance in our deliberations on behalf of the people of the Colac Otway Shire. Enable this council's decisions to be those that contribute to the true welfare and betterment of our community. Amen. I'd like to start this afternoon by acknowledging the traditional custodians and lawmakers of this land, their elders past and present. Please be advised that this meeting is recorded and live streamed, with the exception of confidential matters. This includes the public participation sections of meetings. The live stream recording of this afternoon's meeting will be available on the website as soon as practicable. By participating in open meetings, individuals consent to the use and disclosure of the information they share at the meeting, including any personal and or sensitive information. Note that Councillor Potter is an apology for today's meeting. All other 6 councillors are present. Move to 3.3, the confirmation of minutes. I propose that we move to confirm the minutes of the council meeting held on the 9th of December 2025. Do I have a mover? Councillor Hudgell. Was it to be seconded? Councillor Howard. We have a motion before us, councillors. We'll now put it to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Deduce, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm is carried 6-0. Thank you. We'll move on to declarations of interest. Are there any? No, there are none. Move on to question time. Question time is an opportunity to ask questions of council in a respectful manner. Please extend due courtesy to councillors and officers when addressing council in this meeting. We reserve the right to disallow questions that breach our governance rules. 30 minutes is allowed for question time at council meetings. Community members wishing to ask their questions of council by video conference were requested to register their intention before 5 p.m. on Friday the 6th of February 2026. No requests were received. Council has received questions in writing from Justine and Karen McCarthy, Catherine Mariner, Elizabeth Ryan. These questions will be read out and a response provided by the relevant member of the executive management team. I'll throw over to...
Thank you, Mayor.
Doug, thanks.
Before I read out the first question, I might just note that Elizabeth Ryan submitted 3 questions in total, and the first 2 questions will be read out today and responded to in the meeting as per our governance rules, and the third question will be responded to in writing. The question from Justine and Karen McCarthy I've summarised as follows. The expansion of the Wholesome Quarry at Ondit has been approved by state government. Council has been asked whether we'll continue to advocate for urgent safety upgrades at the Wholesome Ondit Quarry expansion, specifically replacing the Rattways Road giveaway sign with a stop sign and installing flashing truck entering signs on Ondit Warrion Road, given the significant traffic risk posed by increased heavy vehicle movements. Whilst the intersection at Rattways Road meets Ausroads and Australian standards for a giveaway sign, Potters Road already operates under stop sign control, and to maintain consistent intersection operation, Council supports installing a stop sign on Rattways Road. Flashing warning signs are not considered necessary because of adequate sight distance at the intersection. Truck crossing warning signs are already installed on both approaches of Ondit Warrion Road and on Rattways Road to alert drivers, but Council recommends that further truck crossing advance warning signs be placed on Ondit Warrion Road to address the safety issue being raised. Council will request the quarry operator to install these signs in accordance with current standards. The next question was from Catherine Mariner, and it's, I emailed a letter to Council Bylaws Department on November the 29th, 2025, requesting clarification or answers to several questions I had regarding information on the Council website relating to dog attacks. I'm still awaiting a formal response from the Bylaws Department. I followed up the email with 3 phone calls to Council, only to be told that the Bylaws Department have written a response to some of the questions, but are still awaiting further information from the Comms Department before they send me a reply that will contain all the answers to my questions. My question is, what is an acceptable waiting time for a written response from Council to a ratepayer, considering I've been waiting for more than 10 weeks for a reply? And the response is Council aims to respond to written inquiries within 10 business days. And whilst responses to some of the queries have been responded to in this instance, there remain some aspects to the request that Council is still responding to. Officers will aim to finalise this response over the coming days.
As previously indicated by Mr McNeil, we've received a number of questions from Elizabeth Ryan. We'll respond to the first two questions. The first question, Ms Ryan made statements about cycling and other events in the region and issues concerning local residents. The question is, could Colac Otway Shire please organise a community meeting with the adjoining councils and event organisers to discuss local issues about events such as cycling events and other events that may impact local residents and businesses? If this is not possible, what alternatives could the community pursue? In response, for the Surf Coast Classic, the route map and brochure are produced by an independent event company. Your feedback, Ms Ryan, about the information provided has been passed on to them to improve future materials. Council recognises the benefits that regional events bring to the Shire, whilst also understanding that residents along event routes may experience some level of inconvenience. Through Council's permit process and in partnership with relevant agencies, we do work with the organisers to ensure traffic management, resident notifications and emergency access measures are in place to minimise impacts. In regards to Council convening a joint meeting with neighbouring councils and event organisers, should there be a demonstrated need within the broader community for this, Council could request a briefing directly from event organisers and or the Department of Transport and Planning. Alternatively, if the interest is more localised, Council is happy to provide direct feedback to event organisers for consideration for future events. The second question, could Colac Otway Shire investigate the improvement of Council's after-hours service? We acknowledge the challenges you experience with our after-hours service. We take this feedback on board and we will work with the service to review its delivery.
Thank you. That concludes our written questions. Moving on to questions from the gallery. In accordance with our governance rules, we've sought registration for questions from the gallery. We have one registered, Mr. James Judd. James?
When all this council advised all the people in this municipality that as from the 1st of April have two separate laws operating under the animal management plan relating to keeping of cats, because anyone who registers before the 1st of April will only have their nighttime curfew for keeping cats on properties. But anyone from the 1st of April onwards has to be confined 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Thanks, Mr. McNeil.
Well, you could have trouble even with people with multiple animals. Some could be under one rule and some under another.
Yeah.
Through you, Mr Mayor. Thanks for the question, Mr Judd. Council hasn't made any decision yet about amending the cat curfew. When Council considered submissions to the Domestic Animal Management Plan late last year, they did consider a lot of submissions around, which people had expressed concern about changing the current curfew. What Council did decide is that if Council was to change the curfew, that it would only apply to cats that are acquired after the 1st of April in 2026. But there isn't yet any process in place to enact that change. It's a process that we'll have to talk to councillors about further this year, and there to be a further community engagement process with before any final decision is made.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Judd. That concludes question time. Thank you. We'll move on to petitions and joint letters. There are none. There are no planning decisions. We move on to item 7.1, matters for decision. Award of contract 2605. reconstruction of Montrose Avenue, Pengilly Avenue, Ramsden Avenue and Coston Street, Apollo Bay. Questions of officers? Are there any? No? Councillor Howard, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a quick question to the officers. What's the total budget for roads, works and construction in Apollo Bay in this financial year?
Through you, Mayor, thanks for the question. Council has about $7 million that's been set aside in this year's budget to spend on the coastal townships. That includes a couple of road upgrades within Wye River and Separation Creek, but the predominant amount of that money will be spent within Apollo Bay. So the contract that's before Council tonight or today is for 4 road upgrades. We've separately entered into a contract in December, which has just started this week in Pascoe Street as well. So very significant investment in renewal of our road infrastructure in our coastal towns.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? No? In that case, there's an officer recommendation in the report. Councillors, does anyone wish to move that as a motion? Councillor Howard, is it to be seconded? Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Howard is the mover. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, it's a good investment into our southern part of the Shire, and the process, again, has been done very due diligently. There's construction works going on in Apollo Bay at the moment, and that was a good, they're good works too, as well as hopefully we've worked out with the community and the traders of how to make sure that the works have their least disruptive nature while we upgrade our assets. But I'm very, very pleased to put my support behind this one.
Thank you, Councillor McCrickard, as a seconder.
No need to comment. Thanks, thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other councillor? Councillor Hudgell, thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, I just think it's also worth noting the proposed timing of it, with a start date anticipated around February to March this year, with completion expected by September 2026. I think this provides a clear and realistic delivery timeframe, which is a great outcome for the community.
Thank you. Any other councillor? Nope. Councillor Howard is the right reply. No. Thanks, councillors. We now have a motion before us. We'll put to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dew, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Shams. Carried 6-0. Thank you. We'll move on to item 7.2. Colac Otway Shire Grants Program Review and Guidelines 2026-27. Questions of officers? Are there any questions? Councillor Howard.
Yeah, just a question to the officers in particular. Is this consistent with the resolution of last year when we were looking at the guidelines and I should say a resolution on, can't remember the exact bother, but it was about putting money into tree planting and other initiatives that may be by other groups?
Thanks, Councillor Howard. I know there's been some discussion about how broad the approach is, so whether it's strictly farms or you know, farm operators or other groups doing this work. So I believe councillors might have a view on changing some of the wording in our guidelines around that. But in essence, yes, this aims to fulfil the council resolution from last year that moves some money towards environmental projects on farms, and Trees for Farms is the grant that's been developed.
Thank you. Any other questions? Does anyone wish to make any amendments to this at all? Councillor Dew.
Yes, I would like to add, the following words on the objective on page 2, Tree for Farms, grant guidelines and other relevant groups under the funding to farmers. Thank you.
Well, thank you. This, the alternative motion has been moved by Councillor Dood. Does anyone wish to second that? Councillor McCrickard? Councillor Dood as the mover. Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to add these words just so that it doesn't put off people who can support farmers and can also apply for the grants, because in the body of the wording it was written in there but it wasn't on the heading, so I think this just sort of makes it clearer that other people are welcome to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McCrickard. As the seconder.
No need to comment. Thanks, Mayor.
Any other councillor? Councillor Buchanan.
Thanks, Mayor. I'd just like to thank the councillors for supporting this this motion. I think it's a very important one, and originally it was put up for a redirection of funds from buying carbon credits to a much more useful initiative in council, and that's farm planting of the trees and in other areas, as suggested by Councillor Doog. I think it's a big plus for our council to have this new one on the scene as far as grants go, and I'd like to thank council for this one. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillor? No? Councillor Hudgell. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd just like to particularly support the introduction of the Trees for Farm grant stream, which delivers, I think, a practical environmental outcome which directly not only supports our farming community but all the other relevant groups. Applications open for this. Can I talk on this now? On the 27th of February and closing on April the 10th. And I just want to really strongly encourage all community groups, clubs, non-for-profit groups, businesses to consider applying. I know from experience the grant application can feel really big and really daunting when you first look at it, especially for first-time applicants. And I just really want to encourage everyone who needs support to reach out to the staff. We've got an incredible amount of knowledge and assistance available internally now with a great team behind this program, and they'll be able to assist and support you out throughout the process. So thank you to all the staff for all the work that's been done with these guidelines.
Thanks, councillor. Any other councillor? No? No, I'll support all the comments and this alternative motion just to make it clear on our past resolution about the farm trees and other groups. This is a great initiative, something council can give some of the ratepayer money we collect back into the community, and over the years this is one of the best things when we get to see it, all the applicants come in and get to award the money. So I encourage everyone just to fill in an application if you need something to help your organisation, just do a little bit better, and the benefit we get back in the community is more than tenfold, not just in financial contribution but the mental health and active community we have, and in the arts and everything else. It's just a great part of what the council can do, and probably one of the best ways we can allocate some of the hard-earned rate money we collect. So I fully support this. Thank you. Councillor Doodoo, is it right to reply? No. No. We have a motion before us. Councillors will now put it to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Doodoo, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Herod, Councillor Shrams. Carried. 6-0. Thank you. We move on to item 7.3. Apollo Bay Structure Plan Review. Community Reference Group Additional Member Selection. Questions of officers? Yeah.
Thanks, Mayor. I don't have a question, but I'd just like to flag that I have an alternative motion.
Thank you. Thank you. I had a question. This group, we've already made a decision on and got a group. Have they already met yet?
Through Mayor, yeah, they've had one meeting, so a kick-off meeting. Since council appointed the members to the community reference group, we have had one member had to resign for certain reasons. So we've gone from 9 back to 8. But yeah, they've met once.
No, thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Hudgell, you flagged an alternative motion.
Thanks, Mayor. Alternative motion number 1 notes that Apollo Bay Community Voice has requested that Council consider 2 late nominees from their organisation to the Apollo Bay Structural Plan Review Community Reference Group, as listed in the confidential attachment to this report. Number 2, instructs Council officers to write to the Apollo Bay Community Voice to inform them that their request has been denied, as the CRG has already appointed with sufficient local community representation after a public expressions of interest was advertised, closed, then appointed at a public meeting. Number 3, notes that the Apollo Bay Community Voice will be free to apply if the Council conducts future expressions of interest for community members for the CRG that gives the opportunity for any other community members to apply under the same terms of reference. 4, notes that the Apollo Bay Structural Plan Review project will include a thorough community engagement process, providing the Apollo Bay Community Voice with a range of opportunities in which it contribute to the development of the Apollo Bay Structural Plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone second the motion? Councillor Howard. Councillor Hudgell is the mover.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, I believe this alternative motion reflects a balanced and fair approach, one that acknowledges the importance of upholding the principles of good governance for our community. Once we start reopening and amending processes after they're closed and a decision has been made, even with good intentions, we risk undermining the integrity of those processes. I think the Apollo Bay Voice do great things and are an amazing group of people. And this motion acknowledges that there will be thorough community engagement with multiple opportunities for them and many others in the community to contribute meaningfully as the project progresses. So for me, this alternate motion is about holding the line on process, integrity, and protects the credibility of our decision making while still recognising and valuing the voices in Apollo Bay who deeply care about their town. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Councillor Howard is the seconder. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. Again, I reiterate some of the comments made by Councillor Hudgell. To me, it's about due process, not about who's applying to be a late nominee. So I've got to take that out of the equation for my consideration. So I go back to the fact that we did have a due process. A council decision was made. And if we go back to the Monitor's report, which we still have to address and make sure that we're not in contrary to, it talks about not revisiting council's decision. The Voice will have an opportunity, as we've said, to contribute into the structured plan through the different stages of exhibition, etc., so their voice will be heard. But again, it comes back to process. The other thing that I do have a little concern with is that the terms of reference talks about individual members and not organisational members. And I have no doubt probably one of the members on the committee probably is a part of the Apollo Bay Voice. They have a lot of big member base, but I think from my point of view, I think the individual members we've got now will represent and be a good committee to get the framework together, go on an exhibition, get everyone's comments. So, but again, back to due process. The decision's been made. I don't want to revisit it. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor Dudu.
Like the other two councillors have said, that the Voice has a large community membership, and I think they are quite important for Apollo Bay and be the voice of Apollo Bay to some degree. And since we have had someone step back, I do feel there is the space for it. So, yeah, that's where I stand. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other councillor? No? Right or reply? No? We have a motion before us. Councillors will now put to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Buchanan, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm. All those against? Councillor Dude, motion is carried 5-1. Thank you. Now move on, councillors, to 7.4, the Governance Report Monthly. The purpose of this report is to provide council with a clear and transparent overview of governance practices in alignment with the principles of public transparency, and the requirements of the Local Government Act 2020. Questions of officers? Are there any? No. We have an officer recommendation in the report. Councillors, does anyone wish to move that as a motion? Councillor Howard, is it to be seconded? Councillor, no? Is it to be seconded? Councillor Hudgell. Thanks, Councillor Howard, as a mover.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. Look, I'd like to start off firstly that I think the officers have done a great job in getting this report together. It's really streamlined our compliance with being open and transparent. So thank you, officers. The other important one for the community is there's a lot of good information in that report, and also especially the unconfirmed audit and risk meeting minutes, which I keep emphasising, really does show that there is a level of extra governance over the operations and the decision making of councillors, and they are a very high functioning committee, and I appreciate that we can actually get the information out to the public. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Hudgell is the seconder. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. No, I'd just like to echo Councillor Howard's comments. I think any opportunity to clarify and strengthen our governance rules is a positive one, and also I'd like to thank and acknowledge the officers. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other councillor? No? The motion before us, councillors, will now put to vote. All those in favour? Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dudu, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm. Motion is carried 6-0. Now move on to item 8.1, Municipal Monitors Report Recommendation, status on report, implementation. Questions of officers? None? Can you remind us again of why a monitor was appointed to the previous council?
So the appointment of the monitor of the previous council was done by the previous Minister for Local Government and matters that were brought to their attention, and they thought at the time it was appropriate that a monitor was appointed, and they finished their work on the 31st of January of 2025, which resulted in the report that we're reporting against. There's a series of 20 recommendations that were made, 17 for council and 3 for the Minister directly. And so there was a commitment made that we would bring this back to the chamber regularly to report progress back to the community as well.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? We have an officer recommendation in the report. Does anyone wish to move that as the motion? Councillor Howard, seconded. Councillor Hudgell. Councillor Howard as the mover.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. Why I did put my hand up to move the motion, I think it is very important, and I think, you know, the question is valid for our public, why a monitor was appointed, but also equally important why we have to make sure that we're adhering to the report, because one thing I don't want to see again is a monitor in this council, and I don't believe with the calibre of councillors we've got now and the way we work together, we don't always agree, but we're doing it in the proper and the due diligence way, and that's, as I've spoken before, the reason behind some of my decisions tonight. But I take this monitor's report as a very important piece of work that we've got to adhere to, so we don't ever see this again and the burden placed on our community. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Hudgell is the seconder. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, for me, the real value in this report is the transparency that it provides, and clearly outlines that what has been completed and what is currently in process, and what work remains underway. And I think it's particularly encouraging to note that 65% of the actions have been completed or are in progress or on track, which is great. I believe the focus, as Councillor Howard was saying now, is for us as a council group to ensure that change is sustainable and demonstrated in practice rather than just ticking these boxes. And this report report represents that, and it shows continued improvement, stronger governance, and a commitment to operating in a professional and progressive way. So thank you to the officers for putting it together.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Buchanan.
Thanks, Mayor. Even though the monitor's report doesn't reflect the behaviour of this council, I think it's a great opportunity to take a lesson from that report, and it gives us a direction on how to run our council and future councils. But in no way does it reflect on this council, so that's a very, very good thing. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Any other councillor? No? Right reply? No? All right, we have a motion before us now. Put to vote. All those in favour? Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Duke, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm. Motion is carried 6-0. Thanks, councillors. There are no urgent business? Nope. We'll move on to notice of motion. Councillor Howard, amendment to governance rules. You still wish to move that motion, Councillor Howard? Yes. Any questions relating to it? No. Councillor Howard, I'd like to move your motion. Sure. Is it to be seconded? Councillor Hudgell. Councillor Howard is the mover. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. Again, this notice of motion is to correct an oversight when we ratified the governance rules last year. I think it's a good change, gives the community a chance to put their questions in, and it was supposed to happen, but we missed it, so this is to fix that anomaly up. The only other thing, I've, just for the community's sake, it is only about those clauses as stated in the notice of motion. It's not about having another review of the whole governance rules. So submissions were only considered for those clauses 47.7A and B. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hudgell is the seconder.
Thanks, Mayor. No, I'd just like to support Councillor Howard and thank him for putting this forward.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other councillor wish to speak? No. Or reply? No. A motion before us, councillors, will now put to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dude, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm. Motion is carried 6-0. We now move on to notice of motion 10.2. Councillor Potter, Emergency Services Volunteer Fund. I note Councillor Potter is not here, but another councillor can move the motion if they wish. If not, it will lapse and can be brought back by any councillor at a future time. Does anyone wish to move it? No? In that case, the motion will lapse. Thank you, councillors. That concludes the council meeting of the Colac Otway Shire on the 10th of February. Thank you to everyone in the gallery, all the contributors. I declare this meeting closed at 2:33 p.m.